Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm currently playing at the 2025 Coventry International Open. Today was day one and there were 2 rounds today. It was a very hectic day, but I'm really excited to share my games today and also the other games, other results as well. And we'll see who am I paired against in round 3. All right, let's get started. All right, let's start with my round 1 game. I hope you're not able to see the results. Yes, so it's still a suspense. So I was with the white pieces playing against Devan Patel. I never seen Devan before, but he seems to be a local here. When I was checking his games, I couldn't find any latest games, but it seems he lives in this city. So that was pretty much the prep I had. So I went with e4, he replied with e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, and we get this standard Italian, nothing special till yet, c3, and here he played bishop g4, and I was kind of unsure if this is the way black should play. Though it's not stupid, but the problem is that after h3, bishop h5, this bishop is kind of sidelined in the game, because ideally what black wants is to challenge this bishop on c4, with ideas like bishop e6, rook e8, and then at some point d5. But after here, even though it's said that the pins are mightier than a sword, but here there's no venom in the pin. So after bishop h5, I played a4, gaining space on the queen side, a5, a very normal reply, stopping b4 from happening. I went knight d2, overprotecting my knight on f3. This is the way how you deal with the pins. h6, knight f1, and here my opponent played d5, and here I felt he was mixing up his plans, because if he really wanted to play d5, he had to play rook e8, maybe bishop e6, but with the pin and the combination is disaster, as happened in the game. I took bishop g6, so now there's no pin, which means I can play knight takes e5. I'm pawn up. But black has an idea, and it's very typical in these Italian positions where black gives up the e5 pawn in order to play this sacrifice. However, in this specific situation, it's actually a big blunder, because after king takes f2, queen f6 check. So black is a piece down, but now there's a double attack. So if I move my king away, then definitely black is winning here. He's an exchange up, and it's lost. However, I have this nice idea. I saw this from afar, queen f3. So now I'm still a piece up. If you take, I would play d4. And sorry, I'll remove the analysis board. Oops, I don't know how to remove it. Okay, yeah, I got the real board again. So queen f6 check, queen f3, queen takes e5. Here I played a very nice move. I could play queen takes d5 and it's still fine, but I thought I have 2 pieces for a rook, but somehow I felt the pressure is very annoying, and when I have an exchange up, I should avoid pawn trade. So I played this very cool idea. So I played d4, an intermezzo before taking this knight. I thought, let's protect this pawn and then do it. I went queen d6. And I exchanged the queen. So I'm an exchange up for nothing. It's equal pawns. I have a double bishop. It's over pretty much. So after a few moves trying to get my pieces in action, and then here my opponent resigned. It looks so premature, but it's pretty much over, because this a5 pawn is a huge target. So for instance, if he moves back his rook, I'll play bishop c7. How are you going to defend this? It's not easy. And let's say if rook e8, then, well, if bishop c7, you might argue rook a8 is there, but still, knight b3, and I'm anyways winning this pawn, or even knight c5. I could play on. It's really fun for white to play. And that's how I won my round 1 game. So basically after knight d2, it was a quick game. It was just 28 moves. I won this game. That was a nice victory with the white pieces. Moving on to round 2. So before we get into my round 2 game, here's the results of round 1. As you can see, there were no major upsets, and there was no higher rated player losing against a lower rated player. However, there was a draw just, I think, almost beside my board. If you see board 8, board 9 were draws, and I think there were other draws as well, but round 1 was kind of a safe round for all the top guys. All right, moving on, round 2. All right, so round 2, I was paired against a talented youngster from England, Elise Danelle Dyson. I played with her twice already. I think the first time I played her in the can't remember, there's a tournament in Oxford, Kidlington, yes, Kidlington, with the black pieces, and then I played her in the British Rapid 2024, I believe, 2024, with the black pieces. So this is, and again I'm playing her with the black pieces again. So this is my third time playing black. So I wasn't running out of ideas or anything, and it was an evening round, so I didn't really prepare much than just, you know, taking some rest and whatnot. But I was hoping that she would play the same or repeat the same lines as she played in our previous encounters, but she had some other plans, and let's get into it. So she went d4. That's her main weapon. I expected that. Knight f6 and bishop f4. I didn't expect the London from her, though she has recently played it in few Rapid tournaments. When the World Rapid and Blitz Team Championships happened, I saw there were a lot of games for her, but I thought maybe that's not what she'll go for, but she went with it. I went d5, e3, e6, and I played bishop d6. In the Polish League, I played, I think c5, knight d2, here, and I think I played bishop e7. So I thought to kind of mix it up with bishop d6 here. After bishop d6, she played knight e5. So this might seem a premature, but though this looks very natural, but black has found ideas to kind of fight against it. I think it goes castles, knight d2, c5, c3, I believe, queen c7, bishop d3, and black is equalizing. Soon e5 is going to happen. So that's why white figured out this very aggressive knight e5 move. Went castle, knight d2, b6, bishop d3, c5, c3, bishop a6 is one idea. I faced this, I think, with the white pieces when I was playing in the 2022 Chennai Olympiad. But I thought to play a much more risky line. I wouldn't say risky, but it's quite solid enough. But after bishop d3, I went bishop b7, gaining control on the e4 square. But I'm keeping this bishop alive, and this is where white gets some chances. She played queen f3, guarding the e4 pawn. I was slightly nervous here at this point, even though I knew it isn't anything special. However, it feels very nice for white to have this strong kind of build up against my king. I went knight bd7, and apparently this is not a good move, because here g4 is quite strong, which I didn't see at all. My reasoning was that a move like c5, you know, with the idea which I just mentioned before, queen c7, knight bd7, I felt a bit annoyed with bishop g5. The point is that I cannot play knight d7 now, because queen h3, and now I'm into these deadly pins. Knight takes d7, yeah, and this is just crushing. We'll get back to this analysis board again. So after knight d7, so I wanted to play c5, but I was worried of bishop g5. However, engines are claiming I could play h6. I saw h4 and I stopped here, like, no way I'm going to allow this. But apparently I could. I'm just about fine with takes, knight c6, attacking d4 and e5. That's the main point, I believe. And the game keeps going. But instead, I went knight d7, which looks very natural, but actually now white is slightly better at this point. Queen e7. So my idea was that to now play c5, because if you noticed, though I didn't give you a chance to notice it, but here c5 hangs my pawn. You can pause the video and think it's knight takes f7. Though I should mention this is actually good for me. Though I didn't like, let's say, knight g6 might be interesting. Basically, takes, white gets the bishop here. So instead of that, I wanted to protect my bishop. So played queen e7, now aiming to play c5. She played h5, I played h6. It's better not to allow this because my dark squares would be really weakened. c3, and I took here. So now it might be very confusing. Why did I give up my bishop here? But the point is that now this is a close position and knights are very powerful, and that's how I tried to exploit this situation. I went knight c5, gaining a tempo on attacking this bishop c2, and by the way, it looks like my queen is under attack, but I just take. I can even play queen takes f6 because if he takes e5 and then e4 is deadly. So I could regain my piece maybe after bishop takes, queen takes, and black is better. But obviously she didn't do that. She played bishop c2, knight fe4, take. I wasn't sure if this was a good move, but over the board I thought this was the only move to play. Takes, queen g4, and king h8. So there was a couple of moves were played. And this point I kind of collapsed in a sense that I wasn't sure what to do, and I played takes, and this was a rash decision because I thought I'm very quick with getting my queen over here, attacking there, maybe c5, rook c8, and the king is very weak. However, it turns out my king was very weak. She played queen e3, a very powerful move. The idea is to put pressure on the d3 and e4 pieces with f3 and then maybe rook e1 at some point, or rook d1. And my bishop, even though it looks so powerful, but without any companion, it's pointless. But the main idea for white is not this. It's bishop takes h6, followed by rook h3 and rook g3, with some deadly mating ideas. However, I remained calm and tried to find ways where I could, complicate the situation. I went queen d7. And Indians are not quite happy with the move, but the point is that to lure her or provoke her to play this move, bishop takes h6. Now, if I just simply take, then I'm completely lost. The rook left, and no one is going to save me from a checkmate. So what I have to do is, after queen d7, and if she takes, my idea was that queen a4, I threaten her a checkmate now, and now she goes back. Now I can play queen takes a2, and this is lost. So I tried a sneaky trap, but she was alert and she played b3, preventing queen a4, and now the king also gets some loot on the b2 square. Went queen e7 back, king b2. So it looks like I kind of helped her to get the consolidate her queen side in the king side. Never mind. I went f6. I wanted to play f5 here so that I could, gain more control on the light squares, especially on the e4 sphere head. However, I was annoyed with bishop takes h6. Indians aren't impressed. I don't know why, but I felt this was a very annoying position. Probably I should repeat at this point, but queen g7, queen takes. So now this is 3 pawns already. I was thinking of king h8 ideas, but yeah, this wasn't for me. I thought it was too risky. So I chickened out with f6, hoping that maybe I can play fe5, but here, so f6, taking here. Soon I kind of achieved f5. She had to just play e takes f6, queen takes f6, probably then f3, and I'm kind of busted here because, excuse me, the bishop is now strong. There's pressure over here. This e4 pawn is going to drop at some point. However, what happened was, I think Ellis kind of mismatched the move order. She played f3 first, giving me the opportunity to protect the e4 pawn with f5. And I was so happy, or so glad, that I was able to get this move without allowing bishop takes h6. Now that my position is cemented, now I can focus on creating new front. And I'll show you how exactly I did it. She played rook h2, and this position, everything looks calm now. But how do I throw a spanner into the fireworks? I went a5 here, using my rook's pawn to open this file and kind of shake up white's shelter. F takes e4, and here I think I made a very good decision of f takes e4. It looks like I'm still keeping the double pawn, but this f file is going to play a pivotal role, as you'll see in the game. She went g4, a4, g5, so things are getting very dicey here, but I kind of believed that, you know, a3 pawn was gonna do some wonder, and it did, definitely. So I infiltrated c4, kind of giving an escape route to the king. I went queen f5, bishop f6, and once I got e3 check, I was very confident, but I was kind of getting scary here because now she's able to defend this queening square, but I got this in discovery check, and after queen d3, queen b3 checkmate, or queen takes c4 checkmate is inevitable, and she resigned. So I won my second game as well. So it was a very nice day for me. 2 wins with white on black. So, and I was kind of lucky in the late middle game. I think after e takes f6, I'm kind of begging for, you know, a draw at some point there, but after f5, I thought it was my game then. So what does that mean to the standings? Let's check the standings. All right, if you see the results for round 2, you'll see that Hari Krishna, the top seed, won, Matthew won, Jonah won, Platt won as well. So you see that all the top guys didn't have any problems, and they comfortably won their games. Though I think board 6 was a draw, and I think there were no major upsets again, just like round 1. So let's see round 3 pairings. All right, this is round 3 pairings. I'm playing on board number 1. So it's going to be a very exciting game. I never played with Hari Krishna before, but I think I saw him back in 2015 or 16 in Nagpur. So he's a very strong player. He recently became a grandmaster as well, after I think he had a lot of gap between his IM title and then his GM title, but he's, I think, in one of India's latest grandmasters. So it's going to be an exciting fight. So I'm really looking forward for the match. I'm playing with the white pieces, and tomorrow is not a double round like today. It's just a single round in the evening. Well, not that evening, but it's at 15 hours, 3:30. So I'm really looking forward for the match on board 1, and let's see how it goes. I think this is going to be a crucial round, so I'll get some prep done for tomorrow. And thanks for watching, guys. I hope you keep following this. I'll try to do daily recaps, though the tournament is a bit hectic with double rounds, but we'll see if I can get a chance to do these throughout the tournament. So thanks for tuning in, and see you tomorrow, guys. Wish me luck. Thank you. Bye bye.